Welcome back to the Mark and Mitch Show. Mark, of course, from talkingmetal.com, and I from Podcast One, Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. Look that up. This time around, we are going to talk about things that we got this year that might be great gift ideas for you. So it's sort of our best of, if you want, for 2017, but we're contextualizing it as gifts that you might want to give to yourself or a loved one. Mark, why don't you get started with that? What are
Right.
some of the releases that you like and some of the things that you
Well,
want to share with folks? And we'll begin
yeah,
holding them up.
yeah, here we go. This is, let's see, this, I don't know if this is coming in backwards because
Yep, I got it.
yeah,
Nope.
yeah, okay. This was a book that was put out by Noel Monk, who managed Van Halen, I believe, after the second record through like 1985. He was their manager. And this was the, I guess you'd call it the book on tape or book on CD version that I listened to on my way to work in the car. It is just such a great read. And listen, it was a listen for me. I love the guy. It's not Noel Monk who actually reads the book, even though Noel Monk wrote it. It's like a VO guy, and he's great. He's got a great personality sound to his voice for this book. Tons of great stories, not only about Van Halen, but about Kiss, not Kiss. I'm sorry, Black Sabbath,
the Sex Pistols as well.
Black Sabbath, the Sex Pistols, Bill Aucoin is mentioned in this book, Marshall Burrell, an entire cast of just great characters from the 70s and 80s rock scene that all revolve around Van Halen. And it is just a wonderful read and listen. Again, I listened to it. Noel Monk's book, it's called Running with the Devil, a backstage pass to the wild times, loud rock, and the down and dirty truth behind the making of Van Halen. There you go.
Yes, and in fact, I have that book, and I interviewed Noel on my show. It was just a
Yes.
great hour with Noel, and a great book. In fact, I don't even have it here because a friend borrowed it. They were like, "Oh, I have to have this." Speaking of books, all right, here we go. How about this one? Well, there you go.
Yes. There you
Bruce
go.
Dickinson. Listen, what are you going to say? This book has great stories, and what I like about it is Bruce seemed a little more cognizant or a little more aware than some of his rock star brethren back in the day. So it's not stories of I'm totally drunk and I'm totally wasted and I'm totally.
Right.
They're actually real stories, and what I like about them is that they're believable. You read maybe and I don't want to call people out, but like an Ace Frehley book, and you go, are you really sure you remembered that happening? With
Mm.
this one, you get, yeah, this is great. And it's just great stories. Iron Maiden has delivered quality after quality after quality. And in fact, I'll move right into the next one that I recommend people
Right.
pick up. This one.
Oh, I got to get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And there you go. It's called Live Chapter, the Book of Souls Live Chapter. And I'd like to thank Warner Canada for having sent that along. Absolutely fantastic. And soon enough, I'm supposed to have a Bruce Dickinson interview. So
Oh,
gotta
fingers
be
crossed. Yeah.
gotta be plugging the Iron Maiden. But yeah, listen,
Absolutely.
even if you look at an album like what was it, No Prayer for the Dying or whatever, it's supposed to be one of their
Yeah.
worst. One of their
Oh, I
worst
love
is
it.
still better than a lot, a
Yeah.
lot of better. So Iron
Yeah.
Maiden for the rock Christmas fan. What's
Uh,
up?
Vinyl. This was a record. I
Ooh,
know you weren't as big on this release as I was, but it's definitely one of my favorite releases of the year. This is the Night Flight Orchestra, and it works so well on vinyl because this band is a throwback to the 70s and 80s. And it reminds me, the album is called Amber Galactic, by the way, and it reminds me of the same way that the show Stranger Things so brilliantly captures the movie and TV making feel of the 1980s. This album to me captures that musically. It's not for everyone. I know you weren't as hot on it as I was, but I love this record, and the vinyl is just great, and they actually have just some weird stuff that happens on the vinyl. Let me show you. You got just all sorts of goodies that come in there, and then the fourth side is this like kind of decoration that I haven't seen anything like this since the Paradise Theater record by Styx back in 1980, where they actually have the vinyl like kind of design actually embedded into the vinyl. So it's a great listen. Again, the Night Flight Orchestra, I recommend it on vinyl. It's Amber Galactic. Would make a great Christmas gift for your fans of 70s and 80s era rock.
Yeah, and I had muted my microphone, but that actually looked very, very, very cool. And
It's
speaking of cool, here's another thing that Warner Canada was kind enough to send along: the
oh,
Whitesnake
one of my
Deluxe
favorites.
quad stack. Look at this. Do you have this
Yeah.
one?
I don't. I mean, I have the original on CD, cassette, and I believe vinyl too, but I do
Look at
not
that.
have that. I need to get that.
You
It'll be on my
pull that
Christmas
out,
list.
and it's got an entire book with all
Oh,
kinds of
awesome!
thing.
Wow, wow,
And I mean, this is like a complete unboxing. It just keeps going and going and going. There, look at all this stuff. There's CDs
wow.
galore. It's stunning. It is absolutely
Oh my God.
stunning. Look
Oh,
at that.
yeah.
And so yeah, and of course a big big thank you to Warner Canada for having sent that along. And so it's the Whitesnake '87 album. It is the 30th anniversary deluxe edition, and you can't beat that. I mean, let me quickly go over here. You've got um, an 87 mixes, remixes, all done in 2017, evolution demos and rehearsals, live stuff, the album. And what's interesting about the album on this version is that you get the European version that has two extra songs, Looking for Love, which never came out in North America, and You're Gonna Break My Heart Again. Two
Wow.
songs that our version of '87 never had, which I've never understood, by the way. I don't know why we got 9 songs instead of 11 like the rest of the world, but it's here
Cool.
now, and it's
Awesome.
glorious. Yeah, you're gonna have to
Awesome.
get this. Put this on
I
your
Yeah,
Christmas list.
absolutely. It will be on my Christmas list. Definitely one. I have one more. My favorite album of the year. If you're a Pink Floyd fan, you love the vintage rock Roger Waters sound. Roger Waters album this year was just great. Uh, Roger Waters, Is This the Life We Really Want? Tour of the year, album of the year for me personally. A great listen, and he so brilliantly recaptures his classic sound from the 70s and early 80s. Wish You Were Here, The Wall, Dark Side of the Moon. It's all revisited here with brand new music on this new Roger Waters record. Really enjoyed this record. Favorite of the year for me.
Wow. All right. So let me quickly do some of the albums that I think are very much worth picking up. We'll do this sort of in a rapid fire kind of thing.
Go for it.
L.A. Guns, The Missing Piece. You know what? One of those flip the coin in terms of album of the year, because the one right behind it for me, Black Star Riders, Heavy Fire. Absolutely. Those two, for me, for the melodic hard rock fan, are the albums of the year. And then, of course, honorable mentions go to Walk the Earth by Europe, the deluxe edition of Master of Puppets, 3 CDs,
Wow.
which it's Metallica,
Yeah.
like Bruce and the Iron Maiden stuff, and of course, The End by Black Sabbath. And unfortunate, but I guess as we move along in time and space, a lot of these, they're soon going to be Kiss the End and Cheap Trick the End and Van Halen the End, and
Yeah.
it's just going to keep happening. But the End, the last show in Birmingham, great. And since we're talking Christmas, Cheap Trick, A Christmas at Walmart. I've seen it for
Oh,
$7.99 or
cool.
$8, whatever
Oh,
it was.
nice.
And here one from the past, my all-time favorite, Billy Idol. I don't know if you
All
can see that,
spiffed
but
up there. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Billy Idol, Happy Holidays. That actually came out in, I think, 2004. It's hard to find, go to eBay or Discogs or some of those. But since we're talking Christmas and Christmas gifts, there you go. And any
Yeah.
of these things that you mentioned or I mentioned will make any rock fan exceptionally happy. Mark,
Awesome.
let's wrap up. Where can we find you?
Yeah. TalkingMetal.com. We're about to open a new website, TalkingRock.net. Stay tuned for that. Of course, Talking Metal is on iTunes. It's on iHeartRadio. And I'm on Twitter, at Strigl and at Talking Metal.
Yeah, and there you go. And folks who want to listen, Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon on Podcast One. There's a Podcast One website. There is the Podcast One app, which is the best way to listen. And of course, you can find me on Twitter at Mitch Lafon, Lafon. And there you go, your Christmas video for rock fans.
Cool.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mitch.
Always a pleasure.